Welcome, fam, to the week 4 recap of this FFL season in 2025. And I have a special guest, Kyle Logis, on
Yeah,
with me today. Welcome, sir.
thank you, thank you.
Everyone always enjoys the episodes with you. They find out more about you because we don't really get to see you,
Nope,
you
I'm
know.
kind of in the
So,
shadows and just hanging out, hating Jerry Jones by myself over here.
I mean, it seems like your dad probably dislikes the man as well. Is that safe to say?
Well, I mean, if they were winning, they'd probably, he'd probably be a little less hated, but
Okay.
their ups and downs. They make it hard to
Hey,
watch sometimes, but
winning solves everything. It doesn't
right.
matter, you know.
Put the
So
blinders on. If you're winning, who cares what's going on?
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, you and I were just kind of catching up a little bit before this, and you had mentioned that you're back in Nebraska because
Yep,
I knew that you had gotten a different job because I think Andy had told me or somebody had told me that, but for some reason I thought you headed out west.
I did for a while. I took a
Okay.
traveling job. Yep, I went and did some solar work in Florida. But I
Well, that's
made the
east.
mistake.
That's not west. That's east.
Oh,
So
east. Oh,
but did you go
yeah.
to Florida? So maybe I was probably then confused. I probably put it on a coast and then I just put it as California.
Yep. No, I haven't been back to California yet. So yeah.
Okay, but you were out in Florida then
Yep.
for a while.
Yep.
Whereabouts?
I was staying in St. Augustine. So nice site. It's right in between just south of Jacksonville and just north of Orlando, right there on the
Okay,
coast. So
but it's on the you said it's on the coast though.
yep, pretty close.
Okay, and now you've been in Nebraska for how long?
A little over 3 months. Came back here end of June. So
Very cool.
yeah.
I'm sure the family's glad to have you back closer as well.
I'm sure. Yeah, I go hang out with them just about every weekend. So
That's cool. That's
yeah.
nice. You still got your dog. What's your dog's name again?
Rocco. Yeah, he's
Rocco.
sure here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. Always fun having you on. You've got a good, I think, base of knowledge from both sides. You played football yourself, so it's nice to hear some of your football talk and you chatting about that, as well as the fantasy football side that you know. So I always liked when some of you guys were on that actually played organized ball more than myself. I just played backyard football. That's all I really did.
It's
But
all the same thing. Yeah.
let's get this show on the road. I'll do what I always do, fam. Share my screen, get this slideshow rolling from the beginning. This is our week 4 recap. We do it like we always do, but as I mentioned before, I kind of took some stuff out. Transaction report just became a lot, and I think it was just falling on deaf ears because who wants to hear all those names being spit out at one time? So I removed that, but we still have our recap from this past week. Then going into the injury report with Dr. Sam, we have him back this week, so that's nice. Got a better doctor doing the injury report this time, so that's good. Then we'll go into the waiver wire what to do's. Trade block is back. We had a couple of trades happen so far. Comment of the week and then the week 5 matchups. Are you ready to rock and roll, Kyle?
I sure am.
Let's do it. Before we get into this real far, so we had our first ass whooping. Really, we just had to won this week. And that was myself over your father. Took him down pretty mightily. And there was a discussion as to why the Patriots didn't have 6 extra points from that touchdown that they had scored.
Hmm.
And I'm going to throw this out to you, Kyle, because I went and checked the league info and it says that it's in there, like it shows that they should get 6 points. But then when I actually go to the league manager like settings that I can adjust, it shows that it's not checked off, and so people were not getting punt return or kick return touchdowns for their special teams. And I recall that being in our thing, so I didn't. The league info said it was, and I just started to like keep going with the league. Do you recall if we were counting? I mean, I thought we'd always were counting touchdowns by the defense and special teams units in our points, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you like? Do you remember?
I thought so, but I can't recall exactly. I don't recall a time exactly where I paid attention to it, but
I know, and so So here's where I'm at. I want to do some research on it. I feel like it should be. So I'm going to throw this out. I'm going to throw basically out a vote to say, hey, should it be added starting week 5? I didn't add it this week, but like I'm not going to do anything now. Should it be added week 5, or I will make sure it's added for the 2026 season. So A, should we? I'm going to put a vote to you all to say, should we get it added starting week 5? I'll say my bad. I thought it was in there. I thought we always had it in there, but apparently we did not. Um, but I could do one of those two ways. I think it should be in there as your defense and special teams. They score a touchdown, they should get it counted for them. So I do think it should be in, but I'm willing to say, hey, it hasn't been that way for the beginning of this season, and so therefore I don't want to change it, or and then just do it in 2026, or we say, hey, yes, we're all good with starting week 5. Those do count for your defenses. So I'll be putting that out there.
Yep, I'm all for it. I gotta go
Okay.
change my defense now. I don't have I don't have the most touchdown scoring defense, so I gotta go change my team now.
Well, who knows what the good defenses are these days? I mean, we thought the Ravens
Exactly.
were going to be one of them, and they are at the bottom with lots of injuries. But either way, we had an ass whooping this week with Yafaja. Was able to take him out. How did that happen? And what's a differentiator that you saw in this one?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It looks like Lamar didn't do what Lamar was supposed to do. Didn't get 40 points this week, so that may have, I don't know, that may have meant something. But other than that, Tyreek, I mean, I think he got hurt in the fourth quarter anyway. I don't know how much more he could have stacked onto it, but
Yeah, I don't remember
um,
when he got hurt. I thought it was either like halftime or just like I was like about halfway around that mark of the game. He
was
was
it?
doing pretty well.
I might be getting him mixed up with my own
Oh gosh.
Austin. Yeah, I got Austin the third got hurt, so I might be getting
Oh,
him mixed.
okay. Yeah, and he's been a good player for the Steelers, which we'll get to that too. But yeah, Lamar didn't do what he's supposed to do normally. He had a hamstring injury. And then what I also put was running back issues still with Licho's team. The Licho Logis, they have a tough time getting some solid RB performances so far this year. And so that's definitely been one of his downfalls for the beginning of this season. So looking for some RB help over there. And on mine, I had 3 players over 30. Man, that's huge. That'll help you at any time.
Yeah.
So can't scoff at that, I guess. But sorry, Leach, I deliver the ass whooping to you this week, man. Sorry about you, bud. And I got high score of the week because I barely beat out
There you go.
Andy by 1 point. So we'll get to that matchup here soon as well. But we did have a butt whooping this week. And that was, oh, shoot, I think I went one too far. No, that was you. Um, sorry, my screen is messed up here where I have this little thing that is pinned on here. It won't leave, so I can't see any of my titles. There it goes. All right, so we had the Jerry Jones Hate Club scoring 115 over the kicker, Hardly Knower, scoring just over 91. So that's a victory of 24 points. You had mentioned that one of your players who did not score as well, Calvin Austin, may have gotten hurt in that game, so he was in the early games, and I didn't see any of that matchup. Were you able to watch much of that game?
No, I honestly didn't watch too much of it. I got a little couple pieces here and there this weekend, but I didn't watch a full game from start to finish. I was kind of bouncing back and forth, so I did miss that. And I mean, I don't know. I think the team did pretty good. I left quite a few points on the bench, but
Well, did
I'm
you have anybody on the bench that you were considering putting in, and were like, "Dang, I wish I would have put that guy in"?
well, not necessarily. Now, my receiving core is a little iffy. I kind of just try to go week to week with the matchup with them. I don't think any of
Sure,
them are really better than the others.
I like
But
Sutton
I
though.
tend to
Sutton's
play.
doing well.
Yep, I tend to play them, and I don't. I think I hit a little jackpot there with that Cam Scatterbo. So I think
Yeah,
he's definitely a golden child on my team.
I like him a lot, and you're right. It's those later picks that can hit for you, and oftentimes they are running backs. They might be backup options in the beginning of the season, but starting by the midway point, and he obviously got vaulted into it with the Tyrone Tracy injury, but he's performed really
Mhm.
well. and it's going to be tough for them to try to take him out. On her end, it was shoot. She had Bo Nix and Bajan both like combined for basically 60 points, but
Hmm.
could only pull out 30 more points with the other six, positions, which is tough. Negative
No,
points from her defense. Brees Hall did well, but that -5 from the defense is always going to hurt because that's cost you, not helped you. And then receive like Lad McConkey, I don't know what's going on there other than Keenan Allen's the guy being used, not Lad. I don't know. But tough go for it. But gave her a little bit of a butt spanking this week. You go to 3-1 and second in the East, just
woo.
behind Chubby Down syndrome, but right there. And Allison, I mean, she's staying third. She's staying right in the middle of that pack in the East as well. She has a nice solid team, just didn't come together this week with a couple players. Next up, Top Talent tells the story. We had Ricky's Rodent Rockets, who end up taking first in the West with this one, beat the Swifties, who put up another good showing around 117, but that wasn't enough to match the 130, just shy of 133 that Ricky's Rodent Rockets put up this week. How'd they do it?
I don't know. They got Josh Allen on there. I don't know. I haven't seen him the last two seasons. Keeps getting taken first. I don't know. I thought we weren't supposed to pick quarterbacks before the eighth, ninth round, but last two seasons, about the fourth round, he gets swiped, and I'm like, well, all right. I guess
Yeah,
it wasn't meant to be.
I know, and you definitely want to get him, especially in this league, like on your teams. He runs a good amount.
Mhm.
He's solid quarterback in general as well. So to me, if I can get an Allen or Lamar, you feel like you're set. So that is helpful. And Genty finally busted out. He had almost 40 points this week.
Yep, that's good. I mean, everyone was expecting it. That's your Heisman runner up, right? You didn't want to see him fall flat on his face, so it is nice to see him.
Yeah, that's true. He hadn't performed that well up until this game. It's kind of his breakout game. So we'll see how it continues on. The Bears aren't that great of a defense this year as we thought they'd be. So maybe it's partly that too. So we'll see where he falls. But on the other side, Bob's team beat the Swifties. They did well,
Mm-hmm.
but AJ Brown's still continuing to, underwhelm. He had the
Yep.
one good game last week, but otherwise 3 games of less than 6 points, and that's not going to help you win when he's your top wide receiver that you drafted. So that's going to hurt you, Bob. But still a good showing by his team. He still had 2 guys over 20, 5 people in the double digits. So still a good showing by his squad. Just not enough this week. Wrong opponent. All right. Meow meow. They lost with 105.5 to Chubby Down Syndrome, who remains first in the East. They had 116.5, but ultimately came down to their QBs. Drake May outdueled Justin Herbert in this one. Basically about 13 more points, and Chubby won by 11. So that was, to me, one of the main differences. What else did you see that may have been a difference maker or a player that really helped one of the teams?
Well, Etienne Jr., I didn't know if he was going to be good this year or what, but he showing that he still can be. So
Yeah,
that's always nice. I mean, and seeing Chubb out there too. I don't know. I don't know how Chubb continues to do it. I don't know if I'd be able to sleep at night knowing that my knee can bend that way multiple times. So,
yeah. All the credit in the world to that man. I think
yeah.
it's unfortunate that the Browns got rid of him because to me he should have just remained a Brown, retired a Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean he's doesn't have. How can you have it when you're that size of a guy? He's going into almost. I think he's 30 or close to it. He's about to be 30, and having the same knee too, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like the
yeah.
second time it got fully blown out.
So,
So I mean that's devastating, and to come back still, but he's kind of getting overtaken in that backfield, and so that's going to be a tough one for Chubby Down syndrome to answer for. But he got the W this week over Glenn's team of Meow Meow. And on that side, he's still trying to figure out the wide receiver room. So when you have to throw Trey Tucker out there, you're hoping good things. He had a great week last week, but did not come through for you this week, and that's a tough blow. Hopefully Waddle will do something with Tyreek out now. Maybe we'll see how that goes too. But
exactly.
good luck to both teams. Nice W, Zach, remaining first in the East. Unfortunately, Meow Meow goes to last in the East with that one. All right, we had two nail biters this week. First one, Suck a Dick with just shy of 89 against Murphy's Law, 95.5. Very close matchup. What do you think was the deciding factor in this one?
I think it was the defenses. When you're projected, at least five for most teams, at least five, and then they take that away from you. I mean, there's your 8 points differential right there.
Yeah,
Defense, so.
no, that's true because their differential was 16 at that point. Any defense costing you points and not earning them for you is tough.
Mhm.
And I think, when Casey and Samantha were on last week, they had mentioned, we talked about defenses again deciding a game, and if one defense just does what they're supposed to do, then the game goes the other way. So Ravens have been tough. Might be looking for a new defense soon. Who knows? Maybe they go up against Houston this week, so maybe that's a better matchup for them. We don't know. But both teams scored under 100, so Murphy's Law is thankful to eke that one out and get that victory, even when his team didn't perform like they did last week when he was high scorer of the week. Suck a Dick is just feeling it, man. He's having a rough go of it right now. I think maybe it's the third loss in a row for him and feeling that downswing, but he'll pick it back up. He's a good player. All right, and last one. We have
Ooh.
the Sobro Cases Aces at 125.5, barely losing to the Cheesehead Champions at 127.5, and therefore EJ's team, the Cheesehead Champions, they kind of leapfrog Sobro by oddly staying second in the West, while Sobro Cases Aces goes down to third in the West with this loss. What was the deciding factor in this high scoring matchup?
Oh, I mean, it looks pretty even. You
Yeah, it
know,
really does. Yeah.
like I don't think there's a whole lot that stands out. Quarterbacks, at least one running back did really good. You know,
Yeah.
um,
And both high scoring. Both that's
exactly. You know,
125 plus is really nice. You think you're going to win when you do that. But but yeah, you're right. We had a lot of high scoring from them with a couple, people didn't show up. Tight end may have been a difference maker for him if Njoku is just not coming through for the Cases Aces right now. So maybe needing a tight end change this coming week, who knows? But otherwise, very close matchup. Nice W, EJ taking down the top team in the West at the time of the Cases Aces. So kudos to you, EJ. And that wraps up our week 4 recap. And now we get to the sponsor break this week. I told you Dr. Sam's back, so that means you all know this sponsor obviously ponied up the big bucks, but it's more about just getting the word out there to everybody of what it's all about. Kyle's Power Rankings are always honest, always brutal, always brutally honest. Kyle's Power Rankings provides the deepest insight into the current power rankings of the NFL by ensuring there's always at least 20 tiers of dominance for only 32 teams. If you ever wanted to know if your team is just ass cheeks or are they mega ass cheeks,
yeah.
Kyle's Power Rankings will tell you. Kyle's Power Rankings help you stay current with college teams' rankings as well as pop culture, on top of the already dynamic category titles. I will tell you, Frisky and Fun is my favorite. Keep
Yeah.
your finger to the pulse of Kyle's Power Rankings each week by subscribing to his blog and donating to his Patreon account. Be sure to also support his side venture with his father, the Logis VHS shop. Man, Kyle, this is why I had to have you on this week. You've just been donating so much to Dr. Sam's injury report that I had to have you on just to thank you for the money that you're pouring into this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And I always look forward to your power rankings. Cannon's one of my favorites. That's a good category as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much as Frisky and Fun. I mean, I do love that, but Cannon's was good this week too. I like that Joe Melton was on it.
Yeah,
That's
they
funny.
throw. I have to look at some of who some of the people are, like that entire team of the a league over in England or something. I was like,
Yeah.
what are these guys? I gotta look at these guys.
Well, yeah. So Dr. Sam's got his injury report for us. Thank you again, Kyle, for 2 weeks in a row of you actually being a nice sponsor and helping us out. Um, let me make sure. I'm sure I didn't do this, but before I get deeper into this, let me just make sure I'm at least sharing my sound on this, because that's usually what I end up messing up. All right, got it taken care of. I'm sorry, fam. I'm messing up today. But let's go, Dr. Sam, in a similar environment. I've seen it before, not in the car anymore.
All right, injury report week 4. Couple of season-ending injuries. Malik Neighbors, wide receiver for the Giants, with a torn ACL. Millie's not happy about that. He will be out, but likely be able to start week 1 since he's young and athletic. Tyreek Hill with a multi-ligament knee injury. He is going to be done for the season as well. Lamar Jackson suffered a hamstring injury. He's likely going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. I think he's undergoing imaging, so we'll just wait and see the severity of that. Browns wide receiver Cedric Tillman looks like he's going to be placed on injured reserve with a hamstring injury also. Jets running back Braylon Allen is going to be on the IR with a sprained MCL. Both Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall of the 49ers are questionable this week with a toe and a PCL injury, respectively. Joe Alt, left tackle for the Chargers, is out with a high ankle sprain. He's likely going to be out for the next probably 4 weeks or so, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Bucky Irving didn't necessarily say exactly what's going on with him. Coach is concerned. Looks like he potentially has like a low ankle sprain and maybe some type of rib injury. So potentially 2 weeks for him, but again, he's going to just have to check injury report. Darnell Mooney has a mild hamstring injury, but he's likely going to be back in week 6 because they're going to be on the bye after this week or next week. And then a couple of corners injured. Jalen Ramsey on Pittsburgh and DJ Reed of the Lions are both, looks like they're going to have to be out for probably 2 to 3 weeks minimum. I think DJ Reed worse than Ramsey with hamstring injuries.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sam. We appreciate that, sir. Some good stuff there. I don't like the Joe Alt injury. That one is worrisome
Brutal.
for Marion Hampton. But let's go ahead and get into these waiver wire what to do's. What do you say, Kyle? You here to
Yep.
help me out with this? Help others out with what do we do with the waiver wire? I never know really, but we gotta try to help. And so we have some QBs to start with this week because buys started this week. So we have a few teams on buy this week. You may have some players that you got to fill in for, and QB might often be that player. Any QBs on here that you like this week?
No, I'm not really looking for him. I mean, if I needed to take one, I mean, I don't know. Stroud hasn't been showing me too much since what was it, 2 years ago when Tank Dell came into the league, and I don't even know where he's at nowadays. But I wouldn't change a thing for my team. But
Yeah, there's not many on here. Stroud just because maybe it'll be a high scoring affair with you having to keep up with it. I don't know. Um, hold on one second, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle, hold on 1 second, Kyle. I got a call coming in.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, is this the family fantasy football cast or program?
Uh, yeah. How did you hear about this, sir?
Your program pretty good. It's pretty
Well, thank
good.
you.
But a few questions, if I could.
Sure, yeah. We're here to answer them.
Do you take subscriptions fees for these programs, or Is it free?
For like the league to be in the league or just to watch us?
Notice you only get 9 to 10 viewers, yet you have sponsors on the show. So, what kind of return on investment are they getting?
Well, some people are better at this than others, I think, and we're just starting out. We're trying to build the base, you know.
Don't get 3 eggs. Some of them are going to end up being a dinner. You know,
Okay, what do you have like a maybe something that we might know more about, like fantasy football question or anything, or
well, sure. If you have all these sponsors and everything, couldn't you get more of that Sonya Bell instead of this young gentleman, Dr. Sam?
well, why do you want Stefania? I mean, I that's a lot of money right there. I think she would require much better sponsorships than what we got here.
He's a handsome guy, but I'd much rather look at the ladies.
Okay.
Just one more question. You like mustard with them fried taters? They're pretty good. They're pretty
Mm-mm.
good.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well,
I see there's been a bunch of injury.
yeah.
Maybe this will be the time. Bill?
On Tyreek,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you could buy real low on him right now. You probably get real good prices.
Okay. So, kickers in it because this show pays these kids to kick them in Saturday. Like,
Well, that's true. I mean, we could think about it, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna let you go. I think you've had enough fried taters for yourself.
mustard. Yes, and I've seen the program yet.
Oh, tonight it's a treat. You're gonna have Kyle on to program.
What's his team name? Because I know you got his over instead.
Jerry Jones Hate Club. He manages that team. Yeah, you like that team? You're rooting for that team in the FFFL this year?
Oh, oh, this guy, he's a hater.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
now I think you answered up. Just want to keep up the good work and comes on. She's cute as can be.
Oh,
So
well, thank you, sir. Creepy way.
I'm freaky, but that's okay.
Thank.
And hopefully you get more than 10 people watching it.
I appreciate that. Hopefully we will too. Yeah, thank you, Billy Bob.
No, it's
Oh, my bad, Carl. You too. Bye. Well, that was a weird call we got there, Kyle. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah. Quarterbacks, yeah, CJ Stroud, maybe a Sam Darnold out there. Who knows? Let's move on after that call. Kyle, we're gonna just keep going. All right, running backs. We did have some injuries. And some guys might be getting more playing time. I don't know. Anybody on here that you might like as a either a pickup now for this coming week or somebody you think, hey, maybe pick him up because he's going to be doing something here in a few weeks.
No, I mean, is Gibson still the backup to?
Yeah, he's still a backup to Ramondre, and they have Travion Henderson there too. But Gibson's getting run. He's getting some work.
Mhm.
What about
No,
Brashard Smith? You guys get to watch a lot of Kansas City. How's he looking over there? Have you been able to see him at all?
nope. I don't watch Kansas City play.
Oh, They tell me that's what you get over there in Nebraska is KC games mostly.
Oh well, maybe, but I don't watch them play.
Yeah, I don't know. Isaiah Davis is on here at the top because Braylon Allen might be hurt. I didn't hear anything from confirming that too much with Dr. Sam, unless I didn't hear that part of it. But he's got some value, and even DeMercado, I think he got a lot of passing work and stuff for Arizona. So maybe those guys are good ones to put on there. But Rashard Smith started to get some more work. That's why I threw him on here as well with Kansas City. But just some guys to look at, but nothing too crazy here. Same. You have the Washington backfield again. All the same people. All right. Wide receivers. We did have some injuries this week. Tyreek Hill was one of them, with Malik Neighbors being the other. So you have some of these guys maybe thrust to the top
Mhm.
because of that. But who are some maybe waiver wire wide receivers you might be interested in?
Well, I don't know. Dallas is doing something without Lamb, so I guess I don't know if Turpin or Tolbert are gonna, make anything really of it. They want to become, wide receiver number one for the time being, but um, no. Other than that,
Yeah, it's an interesting. I don't know how either of them did on that Sunday game, but that was a high scoring game, which makes you feel good about, like you said, the Cowboys and what they were able to do point
they, they
wise.
they actually got a running game going, which I think is what kept them in the game.
Yeah, and that's
So,
important. Javonte's looking good this year.
no.
And Zach, just to be transparent, Zach offered me the same bet this year of Godwin over Javonte, and I took it again, but I didn't put it on the podcast at all. But so far Javonte's doing good, Zach. Just letting you know that. Anyways, I was a year too early. Yeah, you got a couple. Malik Washington could be a guy. I don't know. Darius Slayton has always kind of led the Giants, even though it's a terrible passing attack. But maybe Jackson Dart's better, and so it might be a good one. Um, Even Westbrook Akine does well in some big spots, like with. So even this week, I'd throw him maybe out there with Carolina. I don't know who their top corner is going to guard, but some interesting guys out there. I don't know what to tell anybody other than Jalen Coker could be a nice stash on from Carolina, wide receiver Carolina. He could be a good one. He's coming back, and they need help there too. So I don't know. Lots of people out there. Take a stab at one. Even tight end streets, man. I think there's a lot of tight ends out there that could be valuable for people. Any of these tight ends or anyone that you saw this weekend that you might have been impressed with or thought, hey, this could be a reason that I would take a Mason Taylor or somebody like that.
Well, I didn't realize that Darren Waller hadn't. I didn't even know. I mean, Did he retire for a year? Or he's a
He
free
did.
agent.
He did. I think he was out for like basically 2 years, was
Yeah.
it?
So this was
Oh,
his first. I mean, first touchdown in however
like
many
three
years.
years or something. Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't, think he's back in his prime, but I mean, at least know he's playing, and
Yep.
with Tyreek out now, he might get a little more action. So
I agree. Yeah.
I would say that would be probably a good one to watch if you need a tight end. Not nothing to trade your tight ends away for, but if you need one in a pinch with the bye weeks coming up.
And that's well said too. Of maybe not somebody on here that you would drop your tight end for, but if you're trying to fill in for a bye week, it's kind of why we do some of this as well. And they're starting, like I said, this week. Oftentimes we even say here, who has a good chance of scoring a touchdown? Like that's kind of where you look at it with tight ends, especially at these times. So I like your choice, man. Darren Waller, good choice for a tight end. Theo Johnson with the Giants, I think he would be a good one now with Neighbors out and Jackson Dart back. Maybe he's a guy. Even Isaiah Likely is a good tight end with Baltimore. He could be something too there. But lots of actual like dart throws this week here at tight end. Mason Taylor got as many targets as Garrett Wilson in their game. So if Mason Taylor's getting 7, 8 targets, that's a lot for a tight end. So that even that could be another one. But good week for tight ends, honestly, if you needed to fill that spot.
Mhm.
All right. Now we have the trade central. We did have a couple things happen this week. Can't figure this out, but anyways, I'll put us over here. I was involved in both of them. It was not intentional. One just happened today, but Meow Meow and the Denzel Whittingtons have a trade. Meow Meow ended up receiving Travis Etienne, gentleman you talked about earlier, that's been doing well this year at running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as Alec Aomaner, the Tennessee Titans wide receiver. He's a rookie. And Denzel Whittington got in the deal Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver for Jacksonville, as well as Caleb Johnson, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was hoping to take a stab that Caleb Johnson would start to get more run at some point, but I don't think they like that kid. So I'm gonna say that may have been a waste, and he might be for someone else to pick up later on the waiver wire. But I think it helped both sides. It gave him a running back that he was looking for, and I'm taking a dart throw at a wide receiver who I think is a top talent, but hasn't been getting it going with Trevor Lawrence. So that's tough. And then the other deal, because I'm still looking for wide receivers, and I was able to offload another running back. Apparently, I'm loaded, supposedly. Um, Beat the Swifties. I ended up trading with them. So Denzel Whittington's traded with Beat the Swifties. Beat the Swifties got running back Woody Marks, rookie for the Houston Texans, who's doing very well. And I gave him Brian Thomas Jr. back. So I basically traded for Brian Thomas Jr. to then trade him away. And in the process, I get Garrett Wilson, who's performing really well this year with the Jets, and then Zach Charbonnet, who's the backup in Seattle, but getting some run there as well. So for me, I think Woody Marks is a better running back in the deal. I'd rather have him, to be honest. But I feel like Garrett Wilson's outperforming Brian Thomas Jr. right now, so that was kind of a nice toss up and trading of different. Trying to get better at one position than another because we felt like we had good spots in the other. So, any comments on the trades? Any thoughts for either of them?
I think getting Zach Charbonnet is not a bad deal. I think it was Arizona that they played with
Yeah,
those new uniforms. I think Arizona had that looked like tortillas.
they did. Yeah.
Dirty tortillas. Yeah, I wanted to like them, and then someone said that, and I'm like, oh man, that's just. I kept
can't
looking at it. I'm like,
unsee it.
is there a design on there, or how are they dirty already? I couldn't figure out what I was looking at. But I mean, for a change of pace, I mean, I didn't mind watching it. I mean, I think I've had him before, and I had Kenneth Walker last year, so I
Yeah,
kind of watched Seattle do their thing a little bit. I think that's a pretty good deal. I wouldn't really call him a backup as much as a change of pace because he
sure.
actually did better than Kenneth Walker in this last game. So
He did. They gave him the goal
yeah,
line work, which
yeah,
was helpful.
yeah.
Yeah, and then ETN was tough to get rid of. I'll be honest, but I needed a wide receiver. I needed to try to go for a guy that I thought could perform better, but he didn't. So he didn't do any better. Brian Thomas still did what he was doing, and ETN did what he has continued to do. So far the other way, but we'll see how the Woody Marks for Garrett Wilson kind of deal goes down too. But both the first trades within here. Good to see others that are trying to trade as well. So keep it up. And if you have anything that you're looking for, want to get yourself on here, please do. I know there's some that are on the trade block, like we talked about Brock Bowers, other stuff. But if you have any trade stuff you want to send my way, please do so. All right. Comment of the week. This was during the banter between the three of us, really, me talking about the point thing. And Zach jumped in, and then just kind of got all whirly. But when Zach got all offended that he didn't have his number, he was joking around. But I can't believe it saved my number. He said, "No, I don't have your number, but I still have the trophy." So I love that one. That one had me going. So nice job with that one, Lucifer. All right, where we sit after week 4, Chubby Down syndrome remains first in the East, 3 weeks in a row that he is first, but you are right behind him, both at 3-1. Then following that is Kicker Hardly Knower and myself at 2-2. It does a Winningtons, and then Lecho Logis and Meow Meow both at 1-3 in the East, and in the West. We have Ricky's Rodent Rockets, who jumped to first place after this week's W. EJ and the Cheesehead Champions stay in second place, but both of those teams are 3-1. Sobro, Cases, Aces, and Murphy's Law both go to 2-2 after this week. Sobro with the loss, Murphy's Law with the W, and then beat the Swifties and Suckaditka at 1-3 in the 5-6 respectively. And to get into the stats, we're starting to get into that spot of the season where bye weeks are going to start. We're through the first 4 weeks. Teams are starting to figure it out. Offenses are starting to flow. Big week this week with a lot of different players, so that's why I think there's a lot more high scoring. Right, we had finally offenses getting into it. It's week 4. We have all the teams playing. Week 5 on, we're going to have bye week, so not everybody's playing, so scores will be a little skewed. We'll see who has the depth starting now. But here's where we sit. Chubby Down syndrome actually second in points because Sobro, Cases, Aces still first in points over there. They scored 125 again this week. I mean, they're right around that 120 mark each week. And then as far as moves go, Licho, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see your dad get counted for 2 moves that ended up being this no move at all? Did you see that?
No, I haven't even been watching the chat and whatnot. The last time I got on there, I saw trades getting made about 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm leaving all this alone."
I don't remember which one it was. Chris Rodriguez and Rashad White. So I don't remember which one he had, but he ultimately dropped one for the other, and then went right back a few days later and picked that same guy right back up and dropped the other guy.
New information must have surfaced. I don't
Yes,
know.
new information. He was on Twitter. That's what happened. But I thought that was funny. So Licho in the lead with 9 moves. Really, that was not a move. I'll try to take that away for you, Licho, so you're not in the lead for that. Or maybe he did it just to be in the lead because he wants to always lead that category. I don't know. I'm second with 8. So, but then and after that, it's 5 is the next most. So me and him are moving a little too much. We're trying to figure this whole thing out. Okay. Well, now we're getting into next week, so this upcoming week's matchups. And we have top rookie running backs facing off this week. Ricky's Rodent Rockets, who just jumped to first in the West at 3-1, going against the bottom of the West and Suckaditka at 1-3. And they're rolling out a lot of rookie running backs. We got Quinshawn Judkins and Ashton Genty on the Ricky Rodent Rockets side. We have Travion Henderson on Suckadika's side. So we have some of the top running backs that came into the league this year in this matchup. Are they the deciding factor, or do you see something different?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to see how Sam builds his team. I guess kind of couple pieces to be moved around there,
Yep.
but I don't know. I guess
It's going to be tough. He has Roma Dunze, who's been his number 1 player so far, number 3 receiver on a year so far. That's who's going on by. Who do you replace that with? It's kind of tough.
yeah.
On the other side, he's got a tight end question. I don't think he has another tight end. So Ricky's Rodent Rockets needs to follow our waiver wire advice with the tight end position, and probably got a decent week to do so. Might be getting himself some Darren Waller. What do
Yeah.
you think? Maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how it goes. I lean Ricky's Rodent Rockets way because Roma Dunze is out. But Jaden Daniels will be back in for Suckaditka, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. I didn't get a report out from Dr. Sam as to whether or not that would be the case. But we will see. If not, Mariota might be back out there for him. All right, next up, flex decision for both because both have a running back on bye this week. However, both have a running back in their flex spot currently, so they can just be moved to that running back spot. So really, they have a flex decision that they got to make with how they're going to fill that lineup. Right now, it's showing Glenn having the projected lead, but that's because kicker hardly knower doesn't have their roster fully filled out. They're missing a defense too, so they're going to have to make that decision. Anything that you see that might lean one way or the other, or any team that you're picking to win this matchup?
No, I think this will be a pretty close game. I think, but
Yeah, she has Bajan out. That's going to hurt her a bit.
uh,
How and on Meow Meow side, he's got Swift, who's going to be out this week. but it looks like he might have some players that can fill in that spot. We'll just see if they make that jump to really help him out. And then for kicker, hardly know, we're going to need to do defense. Bijan, who's been like her best player, is going to be out, so she'll have to figure that out too. But she's got a couple good wide receivers she could put in that flex spot if she would like to help fill that out. I still like her roster a lot, as well as Meow Meow. He's just got a few buys that he's got to get around this week, as well as some questionable players and players that might be out. All right, next up, we have a showdown in the West with Beat the Swifties at 1-3 and fifth in the West, going against Sobro Cases Aces. Currently, their projection is the exact same at 102.4. However, Sobro does not have a defense in play right now. So add about 5.5 points if they were to use their current defense that is on the bench of Seattle Seahawks versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But still a very close projection. Should be a very close matchup. Who do you see taking this one? And do you think that Beat the Swifties will take a shiny new toy of Woody Marks and put him in the game?
Well, it should.
Yeah.
It would be a good idea. But nope, I'm not too much for guessing on what they're gonna do because I can't even pick my own team right. So
Yeah, Seth, I think we talked about Casey maybe needing a different tight end. One of the things I forgot to mention in the stats, the only team that has not made any moves so far are the Sobro Cases Aces. So they are not one to just make a move to make it. They're going to have to be satisfied with the move. But will they stay with Njoku on that side? We shall see. Beat the Swifties, benching A.J. Brown. Got to see what he can do, but he's going up against a Denver Broncos defense that may not show him much because that is a very tough defense as well. So we'll see if A.J. Brown can turn it around for Beat the Swifties in order for him to feel comfortable with what he has at wide receiver.
Get that tight end out of the flex.
Yeah, exactly. He's got Laporta in there, and I don't think he wants that. But that's where, as you said, maybe Woody Marks will go there. We'll see. You'd love it if A.J. Brown could be, but I don't know about that. So
right.
Tough one. All right, next up, we have really a battle of two teams that are playing really well right now. Both are running hot. We have the Cheesehead champions at 3-1 and second in the West had another victory this week, barely over the Sobro Cases Aces, but put up a great score that was near 130. And then Murphy's Law, who's won a couple in a row now, has a team that is doing well and a couple of young quarterbacks that he can interchange, it looks like. Who do you think might be able to take this one? Or who's a player that you might be looking out for this week to potentially have a big week?
Well, I mean, Shakir, with him getting thrown from, Josh Allen, I have always kind of watched to see if he'll have a breakout week, but
I think he had a touchdown again last week, so it might be 2 touchdowns in a row for Shakir, if I'm not mistaken, for 2 weeks in a row. So that's a good sign. And he's the one who's had unfortunate injuries with Neighbors just went out on IR. He's going to just probably let him go. He has Rashid Rice, who's still coming back from suspension, so he doesn't have him yet. But Kenneth Gainwell performed well, but he's out on bye. Matthew Golden on bye, so not too much to pick from on EJ's side. Same with Tyler's side. He has a lot of players on bye. He's already taken them out of his lineup, but they're top players for him. DK Metcalf and Drake London, along with Caleb Williams. So a lot of stuff happening there. And he's not feeling confident with Jamar Chase. He's taking him out of the lineup right now against Detroit. What do you think about that? He's putting in basically Pittman and Keenan Allen over Jamar Chase. Do you feel that's a good move? And how do you approach a situation like that when Jamar Chase is the number one pick overall in the entire league, great player, but obviously having a QB issue right now?
Exactly. Well, yeah, he can't be number one if his quarterback, Burrow's out, and then I'd like to see him get more than 5 seconds in the pocket for him to let him develop a route, but
yep.
So I don't know. First in the draft only goes so far when you're relying on someone else to throw you the ball.
Yep. And I think it takes some it takes some cojones to do it, and I think it also takes some smarts to say, hey, yes, like you just mentioned, number one in the draft. But what does that mean now? Like, it doesn't mean anything right now, and that's what we're playing. So I like it. I like it a lot. All right, now we got your matchup. You're going up against your dad this week.
Yeah.
This is for, I think, the ownership of the Logis VHS shop. That's what this matchup is for. So right now, it's got you leaning your way, even though you still have Calvin Austin in the lineup. You've got other players that you'll be able to put in. So you'll have a nice projection going into the week. What I would say is I am curious on what your decision would be because I feel like you have a few good wide receivers that you could really put into that spot where Calvin Austin is. As I said before, and it's actually showing in projection this week, I think you have the most killer trio of running backs right now with
Mhm.
Saquon, James Cook, and Scatterboo now. So I think that's a really daunting task for your dad to try to come up on, and he could really use at least one of those running backs that you have because he's got not much on that front. But he does have the number two wide receiver and the number four wide receiver going at you. So I like that he is taking it to the air to beat you this week.
Mhm.
Anything that you're looking out for, any game that you're watching this week?
No, no. I will let it play out and see because I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can be projected. I can be projected all the points in the world, but yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, projections. I almost. It's funny. I go off them as a barometer here, and it's taken me a long time to get away from them when choosing who I'm going to play.
Mhm.
I think Romeo Dobbs was a great example this week. I played him everywhere I could because for me, I was like, he's going to have a monster week. I already know it. They're playing the Cowboys. They don't have any other weapons to throw to. He's going to be the guy. He's projected for, I think, 9.5. He ended up with like 27, right?
Mhm.
So it's a guy like that where trust the process, know who they're going up against. Don't worry as much about projection. Go with your gut at times, all that kind of stuff. So I agree with you. Projection doesn't mean much at the end of the day because it never seems to work out that way for us. Except for Sobro cases aces. I'm not kidding. Through 3 of the 4 weeks so far, they've been within like 2 or 3 points of their projection. 3 of the 4 weeks. It's kind of crazy. You don't ever
Well,
really see
that's
that.
good. That's what you want. You want them to do. I mean, kind of what they're projected to do
Yep.
shows that they're consistent. So,
And that comes down to like players that you like or how you like to build your team. Are you able to handle the risk of players that are often injured, things like that, players that have huge weeks and then have terrible weeks. Like, are you able to build a team like that or not? And are you okay with it? I I think it's tough for me to. I rather have a consistent team, but at the same time, it's usually those other teams that end up winning the championship because you got to usually score something crazy to win it.
mhm.
But I'm leaning your way, so that means Licho, you're welcome. You're going to get a victory this week. All right. Last but not least on the docket, we got brothers up against each other's. But I think it's coming down to the Jets at Dallas this week because I just made the trade with Beat the Swifties for Garrett Wilson, and that's to pair him with Justin Fields this week
Mhm.
against Dallas. And he has Dak Prescott and George Pickens going up against me. So I like that game. It's going to be an important matchup this week. I'll have to see when it's actually getting played.
Right. Is it?
Um,
If it was a Monday game, that'd be the best.
we're gonna find this out because I mean it's oddly like a big time matchup now.
Mhm.
Like with this, they're obviously because of the FFFL. NFL is going to see this. They're going to put it to prime time because of the matchup between Chubby Down syndrome and Denzel Winnington. That's how it's going to go. All right, let me see here. No,
Anything to knock him
just a
out.
noon game, man. Just
It's a
noon
noon
time.
game, huh? Wow, that's
Yep,
gonna be.
just a nooner. So nothing too crazy. So we'll know pretty early how this one might go. We'll
Yeah.
just say that. But I like it. He's got a high projection, but I don't like we just said. I don't care. Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's go, Chubby Down syndrome. I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you off the top spot
Yeah.
in
Go
the
ahead.
East. All right, I'm taking you down. I'm going to put myself in the top spot. Or or Kyle wins and he's on the top spot. Either one of those things is going to happen this week, brother. The cream rises to the top, brother. And that's what's going to happen this week.
Right.
Just letting you know. I'm also going to play a different defense. I don't like the Patriots against Buffalo this week. But I do like the Patriots, but I don't like them against Buffalo. So I'll probably do that. But otherwise, he's got a good squad and it's going to be tough. Yep, come in. Oh, you just made it because we're getting ready to be done. Oh. Remember Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
Here, we're actually going to be done soon. I'll just put you on here. But that was the week 4 recap. Kyle, thank you for being on
Of course.
with that, too. I appreciate it, man. And good luck to everybody in week 5. Including
All right.
Kyle's going to face his dad in week 5. So he's got dad. Who's that? Yeah, who's that?
Yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah. Oh, Rocco. That's Rocco.
Hey, come here.
Did you ever watch the show Rocco's Modern Life?
Uh-uh.
Oh, Rocco's Modern Life was a cool little cartoon on Nickelodeon. But I think he was like a dingo or something from Australia, but it was a fun little cartoon. But his name was Rocco. It looked like a little dog, kind of, not like your dog. But.
Never knew that. I would. That's what I named him after. Yeah.
What did you name him after?
I just named him just Vaco.
Okay, I like it. That's a good dog name.
I think
How
so.
old's
Yeah.
your dog now? How old is Rocco?
He'll be. Come here. He'll be 4 around Christmas time. I think New Year's. I think he's got to be a New Year's puppy.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's DC.
There you go. It look kind of like him.
Yeah, DC's almost 6. He's about to be 6 years old here.
Oh, wow.
And she's 6, so it tells you how old DC is.
Yeah.
He's 6.
Okay.
And he already is 6.
Um,
He turned 6 on my birthday.
okay. But Kyle, thank you again for being on. Did you want to say?
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on. Fam, we love you. No, you can't end it. I'm saying my piece here. Gotta tell the family we love them, right? What do you say?
Love you, family.
All right. All right. Bye, everybody. Good luck this week.
Yeah.